told you we'd be back. When we left segment one, Mark was talking about how he keeps everyone in the operation happy, especially the customers. We'll pick up from that point.
Some of the clients that we work with, we do some design work. We don't do everything for everybody. We just choose to do what we're good at. Yes, we do some TV spots. Yes, we do some radio spots. Uh, Not every one of these clients on here are even now in our market. This thing started small and just mushroomed. It's amazing how it works, uh, and it's a big part of our revenue stream. We position ourselves as the right people at the right time with the right message. And if you talk to the right people at the right time with the right message, you're going to get what you want. And that's pretty much where I'm at. Are there any questions?
Okay, actually, we do have a couple of questions, Mark. They're starting to filter in, and again, don't be shy, folks. Go ahead and submit those from your dashboard. But Mark, you said if you don't have the stomach for placing ads with your competitors, this isn't for you. Is that something you knew going in, or is that something you learned the hard way?
We we knew going in we'd have to do that, but we were already, so we kind of had the stomach for it. We just didn't like it very much because we were doing all the work and getting all the money.
I
We were
see.
just making up all these ads, and it was really great. My competitor just stood there and called, "Hey, you got my ad done yet? I'm coming up on deadline, and I've got my own deadline to worry about." And it was, yeah, I guess I do.
So
So
that that's what you mean when you talk about getting on their side of the table, because in this world you're literally part of their decision making process rather than just booking the ad buy.
absolutely, we're in the planning stage, and there's, believe it or not, our competitors, they're there for a reason. They have their market, they have their readership, and they have their loyalties. Uh, the interesting part I found out when you do book an ad with a competitor and you do have an overall plan, they get out of the testing phase. These these clients get out of that testing phase. Well, I got 7 coupons from this guy and 55 from here. They're the winner. They get all my ad money. Well, those 7 clients that use that small paper probably contributed to their bottom line too. So you get it off the testing phase, and it really works well.
Got it. Now, would you say that this business model has enabled you to get outside the market that's traditionally yours, those your local market, and actually expand beyond that?
Absolutely correct. Uh, it started where we're dealing with mostly just our local businesses that were in our, let's say, our circulation footprint.
Hmm.
Right now, it has expanded so far. And a lot of times, a lot of these clients, I don't even place ads in my paper for because they're nowhere near my paper. They just like what we do. They like our look, and you know, they like how it's working. And I think Dan can explain this too when he goes through his presentation. How it's he's in the startup phase with his. I think, or I'm not real sure. I think he's newer to it, but it's just exploding for him from what I see. I mean, he's doing a fantastic job.
Hmm. Okay. Now we have a question here. Did you find the need to have separate ad agency salespeople from your newspaper ad sales personnel?
No, not initially. And we used our regular sales personnel to begin with, and used account representatives that were pretty good at taking it to the next level that sales reps couldn't really get to, the overall looking at the other competing papers. So they were hand in glove, so to speak, with their agency, our sales reps. So they represented most of it. At some time uh, we did bring people on to talk to people outside the market because our reps were so busy dealing with all the local stuff that there was more. Actually, the phone was ringing in more than it was ringing out. So I mean,
Interesting.
it came to us. We didn't really even put up a huge sales staff. I just had account executives that handled it and did everything.
I'm getting a bunch of versions of this same question, and I think I can answer. If, we'll say it this way: what portion of your agency's ad buys are to media other than your own?
Really depends upon the clients. I mean, I've got clients that 100% of it goes out. Right now, the agency has grown so much where I'd say almost 80% of the revenue is not in my publication. And that's strange. 80% of the revenue that we get does not come into our publication and ads.
I agree.
So it's
seeing the same thing.
Yeah, new money.
Transition. It seems like it might be taking a long time, but when you consider we're moving this all the way from Wisconsin to Massachusetts,
It's all yours,
All right.
Dan.
Okay, you seeing my
here we
screen?
go. Now, Dan, this is a relatively recent development in your operation, isn't it?
Well, yes and no. We started designing websites about 6-7 years ago. So that started as what you're seeing here, Reminder Web Design. And a lot of our, quote, agency work is really now stemming from the web work that we do. But yes, a year ago we launched Envision Marketing Group, which I don't know if you can see that little logo down there, but we still tag with, as a division of Reminder Publications. One of the points I would make is that if you're going to try something like this, obviously there's a lot of steps to go out, but to happen. But I think creating a separation from your newspaper is very important because, as people walk in, they're like, okay, you're just going to try to sell me a reminder ad, and that's not what we're doing. And so by having this little bit of a separation, but still playing up on our 50 years in the community, we're letting them know that, no, this is not just about newspaper ads. So basically, again, we have the web design division and now Envision Marketing Group. The core products that we're, seeing revenue come in on our, web design, Facebook tabs, and managing people's Facebook pages, doing email marketing campaigns for them, and then doing a lot of brochure and logo design and billboard design and stuff like that. So we'll work with, like, this is a couple of samples. One is a duct and vent cleaning company, not a newspaper advertiser. He had a whole list of commercial contractors, email addresses and stuff. So we do a quarterly email campaign for him, and that was relatively small. But now he's got a big trade show coming up, so now we're in the middle of redesigning a whole brand new trade show booth for him, which will be probably a $1,200 project for us. We do all kinds of logo designs. As far as the personnel behind this, I had, going back to the web design business, one of my graphic designers was designing websites on the side, and we just said, well, let's get into the web business. So she started doing sites as we sold them. She would instead of building ads that day, she'd work on the website. And, that grew to, it was half her time, and now it's all of her time. So she's a full-time web designer. And now another one of my graphic artists was the same thing. She had web business on the side. So now half of her, quote, reminder time is really now designing websites, and the other half of the week she builds ads. Same with the designer. These logos you see here, and to play up on what Mark had said about this being new business, this is a food distributor in our area that is nowhere near ever would be a newspaper advertiser. That doesn't even fit into what they do. These leads for us, a lot of them are coming in just through house ads in our paper, promoting our web services and promoting our design services, and that's where this lead came from. And this is a big company. They had several other agencies they had all kinds of designs from, and we won the account, which is really cool. And one of my graphic designers, other regular artist, is real talented. I mean, he's doing a lot of this work. he's doing these these caricatures and stuff like that. And so now half of his time is doing marketing stuff, and the other half is newspaper related. These were some billboards we designed. None of this revenue came into our papers. It was going on billboards and radio and a whole bunch of campaigns. Done all kinds of trifold brochures, menus, postcards, direct mail. And a lot of it is just coming from sitting down with the customer and saying, okay, where are your customers coming from? And believe me, when we can sell them an ad, we do. But there's a lot of other ways. Bob's graphic with that toolbox is exactly it. And we're trying to be able to sell them every tool in there if we can. We do search engine optimization. This is really growing a lot, where we'll, even if we didn't design the site, and they're on one of those GoDaddy template sites or whatever, we may not need to redesign it, but if they're not being found with the search engines, we can help them with that. And we typically sell this as like a 3-month minimum, $249 a month for 3 months, and we'll work on their site for 3 months, and we're getting real good results bumping them up in the search engines. With Facebook, again, we can do those weekly posts for them. A lot of it is education. They know they should be on Facebook, or they think they should be on Facebook, but they don't know how to do it. And you, I'm sure, probably have somebody on your staff that's on Facebook all day long. Put them to work managing campaigns for your customers. These things here are what you call custom tabs. So they're basically like a postcard you put on their Facebook page, and we can do all kinds of custom ones, and they can be flash, and they can rotate through pictures, and or they can just be a flat JPEG image. This is again an example of that UFL football team we were working with out of Hartford. They had Jerry Glanville on there as their coach, so that was kind of cool. The website business is, the base of where a lot of this starts. They come in, they don't need, they're new, they need a website, so you start designing their website, and as you're talking to them, you're like, well, what are you using for, a brochure to leave behind, and they're like, well, I don't have a brochure. So you finish the website, and then you go on to a brochure. We're charging a little different. We don't do retainers, and in fact, we sell against retainers. People don't like retainers in many ways, so we use it as an advantage. So what we do is we sell them what we call blocks of time. And so if we're sitting down with a customer and they say, yeah, let's do one of those Facebook tabs, and yeah, let's do a trifold brochure, we'll give them an estimate that, okay, the Facebook tab's going to be 2 hours and the brochure is going to be 6 hours, so that's 8 hours. Well, if you buy a 10-hour block of time, we're estimating you'll have a couple hours left over, and we keep track of everything we do. And at the end of that, if they have 2 hours left over, it'll just sit there waiting for them until the next project. So they like the fact that if we have nothing going on this month, you're not paying us. And when you're ready to do that postcard now, we'll use those 2 hours and put it towards the postcard. We'll put this slide back up there in a second. I just wanted to... Bob, is there any questions that are rolling in there?
Yeah, oh boy. Now, Dan, Dan and Mark, some of that work's so good, it's almost intimidating. And this is a question for both of you. Based on your experience, if you were a publisher who was beginning to do this from scratch, what would you do first?
Well, I would look within your staff to see who has these skills. Is there someone on your staff who already has some web skills? And if not, there's web.
This is getting really good, and it all comes together in segment 3. So just flip the record over one more time. We'll bring it on home.